Today on the Teaching Math More channel, we are asking, what are equations? Our goal is to solve real-world and mathematical problems by writing and solving equations. Grab your worksheets titled Equations Vocabulary and Addition Equations and Multiplication Equations Notes. The learning goal is to solve real-world and mathematical problems by writing and solving equations. Let's look at the vocabulary words. Addition property of equality is when you add the same number to both sides of an equation, and the two sides will remain equal. Division property of equality is when you divide both sides of an equation by the same non-zero number, and the two sides will remain equal. Equation is a mathematical statement that two expressions are equal. Inverse operation is an operation that undoes each other, addition and subtraction, or multiplication and division. Multiplication property of equality is when you multiply both sides of an equation by the same number and the two sides will remain equal. Solution is a value of the variable that makes the equation true. Subtraction property of equality is when you subtract the same number from both sides of an equation and the two sides will remain equal. Variable is a letter used to represent an unknown number. Today we're talking about addition and subtraction equations. Let's label our notes. Addition equations, subtraction equations, real-world example. Addition equations. To solve addition equations, use inverse operations. Inverse operations is the process of undoing another operation. So we're going to solve for number 1, 8 equals x plus 3. So we have to do the opposite. The inverse operation of addition is subtraction. So we're going to subtract 3, and whatever we do to one side of the equation, we also do to the other. So we're going to subtract 3 minus 3, which is 0. And 8 minus 3 equals 5. Bring down our x. 8 minus 3 is 5, so 5 equals x. Subtraction property of equality is when you solve an equation by subtracting the same number from each side of the equation. So now let's solve number 2. Solve c plus 2 equals 5. We're going to do the inverse operation of addition, which is subtraction. So we're going to subtract 2. And whatever you do to one side of the equation, you do to the other. So we're going to subtract 2 from the other side. 2 minus 2 is 0. 5 minus 2 equals 3. Bring down c. So c equals 3. Let's move on to subtraction equations. Addition property of equality is when you solve an equation by adding the same number from each side of the equation. So we're going to solve for negative 10 equals y minus 4. We're going to do the opposite of subtracting 4, which is adding 4. Whatever we do to one side of the equation, we do to the other. So we're going to add 4 to negative 10. Negative 4 plus 4 is 0. Negative 10 plus 4 equals negative 6. So y equals negative 6. Now we're going to move on to number 4. We have b minus 4 equals negative 2. We're going to do the inverse operation. So the inverse operation of subtraction is addition. We're going to add 4 to both sides. Whatever you do to one side of the equation, we also do to the other. So negative 4 plus 4 equals 0. Negative 2 plus 4 equals positive 2. Bring down the b. b equals positive 2. Okay, now let's look at a real-world example. The difference between the record high and low temperatures in South Carolina is 130 degrees Fahrenheit. The record low temperature is negative 19 degrees Fahrenheit. What is the record high temperature? So we need to write our equation for 130 equals H minus the record low temperature of negative 19. So first, whenever we have a negative subtracting, we make it a positive. So this is actually plus 19. Now we're going to do the opposite. The inverse operation of addition is subtraction. So we're going to subtract 19. Whatever we do to one side of the equation, we do to the other. 19 minus 19 is 0. 130 minus 19 is 111. So the record high temperature is 111 degrees Fahrenheit. Now let's look at multiplication equations and division equations. Let's label our notes. Multiplication equations, division equations, and then we're going to do a real world example. Okay, let's start with multiplication equations. The division property of equality states if A equals B and C is not equal to 0, then A over C equals B over C. And we write that as that if you divide each side of an equation by the same number, the two sides remain equal. So let's solve for number 1. 20 equals 4x. We have multiplication here. The opposite of multiplication is division. So we're going to do the inverse, which is divide by 4. And whatever you do to one side of the equation, we do to the other side. So 4 divided by 4 equals 1. And 20 divided by 4 equals 5. 5 equals x. Number 2, solve 24 equals negative 8y. So we have a multiplication problem here. So we'll do the inverse operation. The inverse operation of multiplying is dividing. So let's divide by negative 8 to isolate y. Whatever we do to the one side of the equation, we also do to the other. So we're going to divide negative 8 by negative 8, which equals 1. 24 divided by negative 8 equals 3 negative. So y equals negative 3. division equations, we have multiplication property of equality states that if you multiply each side of an equation by the same number, the two sides remain equal. So if A equals B, C cannot equal 0. Then A over C equals B over C. So we're going to solve for W divided by 3 equals -10. To undo division, we must multiply. So the inverse operation of division is multiplication. Multiply by 3. Whatever we do to one side, we do to the other. This cancels out. We just have W. And then -10 times 3 is -30. Number 4, we have Z divided by 9 equals 8. So let's do the opposite of dividing by 9, which is multiplying. And whatever we do to the one side of the equation, we also do to the other. So Z times 9 is, 9 divided by 9 is 1, and 9 times 8 equals 72. So Z equals 72. Now let's look at our real world example. Sarah exercised, then cooked dinner. The time she spent exercising was 1/3 the time it took her to cook dinner. It took Sarah 18 minutes to exercise. How long did it take her to cook dinner? So let's write the equation. C for cooking divided by 3 equals 18. So we're going to solve for C to see how long it took Sarah to cook for dinner. And that means we're undoing division. The inverse is multiplication. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. 18 times 3 is 54. So C equals 54. It took Sarah 54 minutes to cook dinner. Now let's practice solving equation problems. You have 15 minutes to solve the following problems and then review your answers. Time's up. Let's check your answers. Number 1, R equals 48. Number 2, F equals 160. Number 3, N equals 110. Number 4, Z equals 6. Number 5, H equals 73. Number 6, Q equals 685. Number 7, A equals 21. Number 8, D equals 380. Number 9, Y equals 19. Number 10, W equals 95. Number 11, W divided by 4 equals 16, with the answer W equals 64 minutes. Number 12, M equals 420, with M equals 35 miles per gallon. Number 13, 370 equals A minus 325, with A equals $1,055. Number 14, P plus 70 equals 799. P equals $729. So how did you do? Did you get 14 correct? That's awesome. 11, 12, or 13 correct? That's great. 10 or less, we need some more practice. For more information about the Teaching Math and More Video Vault, be sure to check out the description of this video. You can grab the notes, resources mentioned in this video. The links are in the description. Be sure to like and subscribe to the Teaching Math and More channel to receive more videos like this. Thank you for watching.